Hello to everyone. Thank you all for joining me at this time. My name is Shavi Zane, and I'm coming on to bring a message for those of you, as you can see by the title. It's called I Do Not Want to Be Gay Anymore. This message is not for those of you who are living the homosexual lifestyle or lesbian lifestyle and you're comfortable in it. This is for those of you who was attracted to this title because there's something within you at this point in your life, at this season in your life, where you find that you feel that you're being called and directed to go into a new direction. Okay. Now, I got a couple of cards that I already laid out because I started this message, but it got shut off on me. So obviously some energy does not want you all to receive this. So I strongly suggest that you pay close attention and see what resonates with you. What can you take from this that's going to help empower you and strengthen you? So one thing, I've been called to do this message for a few weeks now, but I keep getting redirected to do other messages. And so I've had so many synchronicities that said, go ahead and bring this message forward. One thing that I've noticed is that quite often, some of the people who live in the homosexual lifestyle have come to me and, based on some messages that I've done in the past, they wanted to know, in terms of where they're at right now in their spiritual journey, does that mean that they need to leave that lifestyle? Because some of them are questioning, should they stay? Some of them are ashamed of that lifestyle. Some of them in their spiritual awakening are like, I don't know that this is the path that I'm supposed to be taking because I'm awakening now. And I'm really questioning, should I go and be with a man or should I go and be with a woman, someone of the opposite sex? And one of the questions that I've asked them is, well, what keeps you from moving towards the opposite sex? And most of the time, the answer has been, I'm just not attracted to them. I'm not attracted to them. And so that led me to understand in my spiritual ears was open. And what I saw was, and what I saw with my spiritual eyes and listening with my spiritual ears is that many people do not come out of the homosexual lifestyle because they are largely in their carnal nature. They're more centered, they're more focused on whether or not someone will be sexually pleasurable to them in the bedroom than they are in terms of the spiritual nature of being with someone that is of the opposite sex, which is in alignment with nature. Okay? Reproduction, and as you know, reproduction of different things cannot happen unless you go through artificial measures. Reproduction cannot take place with two people of the same sex. You look at nature all around you, that is what happens 99.9% of the time, which lets you know that's how the Most High constructed things, okay? We can't get around that. I'm doing a reading here. I'm going to be pulling some cards to see. The questions that I'm asking here is, what caused you to come into the homosexual lifestyle or the lesbian lifestyle? How do you feel about it? How is it impacting you spiritually and physically? And how can you free yourself from it? So I'm going to be pulling cards. I got several decks here. One thing that has come into my understanding is that generational curses. I spoke about this in my last couple of videos, okay? Especially the melanated community. The masculine, the men, was in their feminine energy for many generations, being in an energy of, in their feminine energy, because they was not able to protect their families. That was stripped away from them. The ability to protect their families was stripped from them. The women have been in their masculine energy in protective mode, in survival mode, because the masculines have been stripped of their ability to protect them. And so they are operating in this energy of their femininity, trying to heal themselves, trying to nurture themselves, and maybe even some fear. And then the feminines have been in protective mode, survival mode, which is the masculine energy. And subconsciously, this gets passed down through the genetic expression because it's been going on for so many generations through this generational curse and so much of the opposition of the enemy against, specifically though, especially the melanated man, woman, and child. And so what you end up producing is offspring who come out as being overly feminine or overly masculine. And so this is where balance is being called to come back in, okay? And so when you start breaking off these generational curses, you start unveiling things. You start to see things more clearly. That illusion that you had over your eyes starts to lift. That spell, those dark magic, that ritual that was done against your family for generations begins to lift. And many of you, being in the age of Aquarius now, this is the time of the awakening. And so many of you are on your spiritual journey and you're like, man, I'm here, I'm awakening, and I'm really starting to question, is this lifestyle in alignment with what I'm supposed to be doing here? Something about it. Those of you who question it now, it's not for everybody, but those of you who question it have been drawn to this message because it's something about the lifestyle that's making you feel like you need to be taking another path. So go and look at, specifically, I want to reference my pornography 1 and 2. There's messages there in regards to the homosexual lifestyle and how that comes about through pornography. And then also, it's a message that I just recently did. I'll post it in the description box below once I'm done here. So I did end up pulling some cards before the video cut off on me. These are the cards that came out, y'all. The question that I asked was, what caused the lifestyle? What caused you to step into the homosexual lifestyle, okay? I don't know why it seems like my lighting is getting dim, but let's keep going. So what caused you to step into the homosexual lifestyle? We have the Devil. That was the first card that came out, okay? With this card coming out first, it lets me know that there was a very lustful energy, a very enticing energy that was largely surrounding like the Jezebel spirit. Right behind that is the King of Pentacles. Somebody might have come into your life and maybe enticed you with material abundance and material wealth. For some of you, this, everybody's story is not the same, but for some of you, this could have been someone who was, very wealthy or financially secure, and they was living a homosexual lifestyle, and you found yourself being drawn to the material gains that you could get by being with them. Some of you got into this because maybe you was doing something like some way of making money, some form of making money. It got you into the homosexual lifestyle because there was some sort of material gain that you received as a result of doing this, because you was these energies. And then a 7 of Swords. These energies, this energy together is being overly focused in on materialism and willing to do anything to maintain that materialism, an obsession with financial security, an obsession with material abundance. And so what I see with this card coming out first is that Jezebel spirit that latched on to you. And it put you in this energy of having to constantly feed this lustful, pleasure-seeking behavior that kept you very much so in your carnal nature. For some of you, it became an addiction. The energy, once you started doing it, not only was you addicted to the money, but you was addicted to the way that it made you feel, because that dark energy, that Jezebel spirit, it created an illusion for you. 7 of Swords is here in the reverse. So somebody might have come in and stolen, for some of you, you might have had a situation where someone stole your innocence from you. It wasn't necessarily a situation where you started off through creating financial abundance. Some of you, someone actually did take your innocence from you. But this is an energy of deceiving yourself, or someone deceiving you. If you deceived yourself in a way where you thought, okay, if I get myself involved in this lifestyle, okay, it's actually pleasing me. It does feel good, because you allowed yourself to believe that as long as you was financially secure, then this energy would not have any, it wouldn't have any negative impact over your life. But with the Devil card coming out first, it has affected you in more ways than one. Okay. So let me see what else is coming out in terms of the question here, which is, what caused you to go into this particular lifestyle, into this lesbian, bisexual, homosexual, whatever name you want to call it? What caused you to move towards the same-sex relationships? So you have here the Queen of Cups and the 2 of Pentacles in the reverse. Okay, 3 of Cups is right behind that. Some of you was seeking out love. Some of you was, you was tired of juggling. Maybe you had some really bad situations in your past. Specifically, I'm seeing the feminine energy here. For some of you, you had some bad situations in the past that was not balanced. They was not stable. And you got tired of that energy. And so you ended up hanging out with the wrong crowd. You ended up hanging out with people who maybe had, maybe was dealing with alcohol issues, pleasure-seeking behaviors. I'm also hearing that some of you got involved in threesomes with your partner in order to appease them because they provided a certain amount of financial security. And so you wanted to express your love to them by showing them that you would be okay with inviting a third party into the bedroom. And that third party was someone who was of the same sex. But they didn't just bring themselves, they brought the Jezebel spirit along with them, and it attached and latched itself onto you. That's how I feel some of you ended up in bisexual or lesbian relationships or gay relationships. That's what I'm seeing here. I want to clarify before we move on to the next question. What is this devil energy here? Because that's not, what is the devil energy? Grief. Okay. So this energy has not left you. You being attached to this devil energy, it has not put you in a space where you feel happy about the lifestyle that you have been living. It's put you in the energy of grieving, and that's very low vibrational. That's how you feed the beast, through the energy of grief, self-doubt, self-loathing, shame, guilt. All of these things came along with the pleasure of having these same-sex relationships. One more for the devil energy. Look at this, y'all. Financial greed by any means. Did I not just say that? Financial greed by any means. Some of you got involved in this lifestyle. Right behind that is addictions. I told y'all the devil energy can deal with addictions. Some of you got into this lifestyle because you really was using it as a way of creating financial abundance for yourself. But this was the wrong way to go about doing it, because you might have seen some material security and you might have been able to get some of the what some people would consider the luxuries of life. But what is stripped from you was your inner peace. It stripped from you your self-love. It took from you your your ability to have true happiness, okay? And it left you in this energy of grief and addictive behaviors, whether it's addictions to sex, addictions to money, addictions to substances. There was a lot of things that came along with you attaching yourself to this energy, okay? And you had the wrong types of people around you in your circle who was promoting this energy. They celebrated living this type of lifestyle. Some of you was really, I feel like this goes back to childhood. You was looking for love and you was looking for acceptance. And you thought that having material abundance and wealth and having lots of people around you would make you feel like you had actually accomplished something, or it would make you feel as if you was getting the respect or the accolades that you had been hoping to receive since childhood. But it really took you down the wrong path here. So the next question that I have is, how do you feel about it? How do you feel about your lifestyle right now? How do you feel? Look at this, y'all. I'm cutting the deck. This is how you feel. Stressed out. You feel mentally trapped. You feel stuck. You're losing sleep. You can't see your way ahead. All up in your head about this. Many of you feel shameful about this. Some of you have nightmares. Some of you feel like you're being spiritually attacked because of this. Some of you are highly emotional. This just clarifies the grief that I saw. Okay? So let's just see. How do you feel about this lifestyle? For some of you, it has made you very promiscuous in your energy. And so you picked up on this energy because the Knight of Wands is about being promiscuous, being very flighty, not staying around in any situation too long, but it's also drawn in very manipulative people. situations of constant conflict, drama, jealousy. How do you feel about this lifestyle? So some of you, I see this energy of you trying to balance things out. You're trying to balance things out here by walking away, okay? Some of you are doing what's necessary to walk away from this and to head down a different path, to head towards your happiness here. You're turning away from the past, and you're doing what's necessary to try to balance this situation out. Yeah, a lot of y'all are ready to give this up with the Nine of Wands in the reverse. You've held on for it for a long time, but while you held on to it, you took a lot of hard knocks. You took a lot of bruising. You took a lot of battering. Some of you was in very abusive type of relationships, whether it's, emotionally, verbally, physically, but you took a lot of beatings and you held on for a long time, but it put you in this energy where you always had to defend yourself. You always had to protect yourself. Now you're coming out of that energy. You're ready to release this. You're ready to walk away from it. And you're ready to do the work to heal and to balance out your energy here. Because this is all about balance. You got the earth and you have the water here. This is all about balancing out your energy. Right behind this, we have the Queen of Wands in the reverse and the, what is this? The Knight of Cups in the reverse. So with these two cards, this shows me, yeah, a lot of you have been left in this energy of feeling abandoned, left out in the cold, not accepted by others. Some of you have gone through health issues as a result of this. Some of you have taken a lot of financial losses as a result of this, even though, because many of you have been, this placed you in lack mentality, where you felt like if you did not continue in this lifestyle, then you did not possess the creative energy to build and to create abundance for yourself. So it really played heavy on your self-esteem. Queen of Wands in the reverse is low self-esteem. And this is also an energy of someone who would manipulate any and everybody in order to get what she wants. Some of y'all even turned to doing things like sex magic on people in order to create your abundance. This is not for everybody, but some of you did turn to the dark side, okay? Because you found that people was in and out of your life. Romantic partnerships was not consistent. People would come in and offer their love and then they would pull it right back. And all it did was place more pain on the wounds that you had been trying to suppress and keep down. And you tried to avoid it through your maybe partying a lot, maybe substance abuse, alcoholism, and through sexual pleasure. The Magician, some of y'all ended up, either you got with people that was doing dark magic on you, or you ended up doing sex magic and dark magic on other people in order to get what you wanted, because you were so afraid of losing out financially and being left out in the cold or going into this energy of poverty. So how do you feel about it? Many of you are ready to balance your energy out and walk away. You're ready to let go. Let me pull one more in terms of how you feel about this. How do you feel about this lifestyle? How do you feel about this lifestyle? And I want to clarify a couple of these cards with my other deck to get a little bit more detailed, and then we're going to move on to the next question. Okay, so what you have coming out is the Chariot and the Nine of Pentacles in the reverse. Many of you are really ready to take the reins of your life. You're ready to take back control and you're ready to move ahead. And some of you are willing to do it at the risk of losing out financially, because you know that much of this, some of you had to prostitute yourselves. This is how you got into it. Some form of prostitution, whether it's having a same-sex male, gay relationship with someone who, men who had money who was paying you, or as a woman, having threesomes with men, who had a lot of money, who might have, had some sort of addictive pleasure, and they used their money in order to lure women in, that's willing to do those types of acts with one another, to please them, or a relationship. Something here about money is here. And so I feel like a lot of you are willing to take the risk of losing in order to gain. And that's usually how it works, because in order to get into this lifestyle, many of you, that's how you started. You lost yourself spiritually in order to gain material abundance physically. Now you're being called to lose these things that you've gained material wise in order to gain back your spiritual balance, in order to gain back who you are at your core, your spiritual essence, stepping back into your divinity. And so many of you understand that what you're gaining through your spiritual balance and understanding who you are and who you was placed here to be, that's far more valuable than what you have been able to accumulate material wise, because many of you have already come into the understanding that that money, it didn't bring you no happiness. All it did was put you in this energy of addictive behaviors, and it made you want to suppress the energy more and more so that you did not have to come into the reality of the fact that you had literally, you was lingering on selling your soul for the sake of materialism. I feel like many of you are starting to awaken to that fact, because we are in the time of awakening. So let me see. I want to clarify, what is the Queen of Wands in the reverse? What's the Queen of Wands in the reverse? Because I know that would be that energy of insecurity and promiscuous behavior. What we have here is women abusing sexual powers over men. Now, I feel like this would be for those of you who are living the lesbian lifestyle, where you know that there's some men out here who are very much so in their carnal nature and will pay you to have lesbian relationships with maybe, women that are also bisexual or gay, lesbian or whatnot. And so abusing your sexual power in order to receive abundance. Okay. Some of you might actually be like, strippers, prostitutes, whatever the case may be, or you had a relationship with someone who had money, and in order to appease them, you brought in other people. You have here losing faith and ability to heal. Some of you all are feeling like you're losing your faith and your ability to release yourself from this lifestyle, because you've been grieving for so long. You've been in this energy of shame and guilt for so long. So it's like, is there redemption for me? Is probably what you ask. But there is. But you have to be willing to release something, to deny yourself, to make the sacrifice, to deny yourself of something that has only kept you bound to this energy. So yes, to take this chain off of your neck, because you see the chains here, these cards are kind of old. But if you look at this one very closely, that chain is very, very loose around this person's neck. So you have the ability to release yourself from this devil energy. You have the ability to release yourself, but the question is, are you going to allow your carnal nature and your pleasure-seeking behavior to override what your soul and your spirit is telling you that you need to do at this point in your life and at this point in your journey? You have here stress or depression. So some of you, with the Queen of Wands in the reverse, that's what I was clarifying. The insecurity that you feel and the number of people that you have slept with over a certain period of time, or it doesn't even have to be that you've been with a lot of people. It can be the person that you've connected with who has been with many people, or just the energy itself, the Jezebel spirit itself has attached itself to you. And with that comes many, many, many dark energies. Okay. So it's put you in this low vibrational state of stress and depression. Depression is constricting. So some of you all kind of feel trapped here in this lifestyle, which you says losing faith and ability to heal. You feel trapped, but you're not trapped. Okay. Let me pull one more. Some of you really did do this in order to please other people, and you got yourself caught up in this because that Jezebel spirit attached itself to you. This says attract partners based on lust and creates disastrous connections. See? So you've been attracting partners to you. Look at this, y'all. Right behind this, it says dark energy over the connections. I told you that's what this dark energy is, the devil energy. So you've been attracting partners to you based on lust. And it has created disastrous connections. So connections with people who are very deceptive, deceitful. Connections with people who are very abusive, physically, emotionally, verbally. Connections with people who are overly focused in on materialism, who would do anything, any means necessary. Abuse, women who abuse their sexual powers over men because they know that these men have addictions, sexual addictions, lustful behaviors, where they want to see women in same-sex sexual encounters, and so they'll pay them for this, or financial greed by any means. Okay, you attract to you people who's in that energy, or you are in that energy, projecting that energy, and so thereby whatever you are internally is what you attract to you. If you are in that energy of grief, self-loathing, self-hatred, okay, a bitterness, all of these things, materialism, then you're going to attract to you someone who is a mirror reflection of that energy that you have suppressed. Even if it's not on the surface and people can't physically see it, you've suppressed it. And so life will be a mirror reflection. Everybody who comes into your life will be a mirror reflection of that suppressed wound, so that you can finally see it and address it and heal it. So dark energies are over these connections. So if you feel like you're having, some of y'all are going through, for the men, you're going through erectile dysfunction right now. You feel like you're not even able to get sexually aroused or stimulated at this point. Things are shifting here. Things are shifting here because there's something that's happening. It's happening for a reason, though, so that you're able to awaken to the necessity of bringing balance between your masculine and feminine energies, and seeing this from your spiritual eyes and not your natural eyes. The benefit of being with the opposite sex is bringing you back into homeostasis, is bringing you back into alignment with your original nature before it was thrown off. And then you say, well, if you're telling me that I'm gay because my DNA expression shifted because of what my ancestors had gone through for generations, then how do I have any control over that? Well, you have more control than you think, because in your awakening, let's just say a person who is physically ill, a lot of times there are things that happen, DNA, genetic mutations that happen that causes certain illnesses. Does that mean that that person is doomed? Or that, is that, just straight out damnation for them? There's no hope for them? No. It means that that person, you are what you think, you are what you believe. And so you have to get back to your nature, which means you have to start doing things that brings you back into homeostasis. So for some of you, first, it's going to have to be, you're going to have to take your sexual energy back. You're going to need to sacrifice yourself in terms of your sexual energy, no longer allowing yourself to connect with these partners first. Withhold your sexual energy. Get into that space. You have to make that divine connection with the creator of all things before you can become the co-creator of your life. So make that divine connection. Call in your spiritual team. Ask them to help you, to show you how to remove these blockages and these obstacles. Break the generational curses off of your family. I do have a video that's called "What Generational Curses Do Your Ancestors Carry?" Go back and check out that video. But you need to address the generational curses. There's something here that threw things off balance, and you're needing to break free from that chain, because that's what that devil energy is, having you chained and bound through these curses here. Some of you ended up in this lifestyle and you connected with the wrong person or the wrong people, and they ended up doing dark magic on you. They ended up doing sex magic on you, and you became addicted to that type of pleasure-seeking behavior. Some of you did this to others because you wanted them to keep coming back for more so that they could give you financial abundance. But if that's not the case for you all, it's very clear here that this is not the lifestyle that you should be living. So yes, getting yourself back in alignment, taking back your sexual energy, going into celibacy, removing yourself from certain people and energies around you because you've attracted the wrong type of friends, the wrong type of associations, the wrong types of people. You're going to need to do some inner work, some inner child healing. What made you get into this space of lack mentality where you feel like you will do anything by any means necessary. You will create abundance for yourself, even if that means putting yourself in this mental state of grief, stress, self-loathing, insecurities. What would cause you to go down that route to where you feel like you don't naturally possess a gift to create abundance for yourself? Then you want to look into, for some of you who are, where it says you're using your sexual powers to abuse other people, using your sexual power to abuse other people, then what part of you feels that the only thing that you have to offer is your sexual energy? There's no more substance to you outside of that. That's very surface when it comes to, if you're saying that that's the only thing that you have to offer, then you're saying that, we're multidimensional beings. We're spirits having a human experience. And so if you're telling me that you feel that you was created by the creator of all things, who is infinitely creative, there's no ending in terms of what the creator can make, and you are one of them, and you feel that the only thing that you have to offer is pleasure to someone else, that's where your value is held, then you're living too much on the surface of life. You're not able to see the depths of who you are and the multiple possibilities of where you could go if you just awaken and get back into your nature. And your nature is to be with someone who is of the opposite sex. But first you got to pull off all them layers. Because some of you are like, well, how can I can't just wake up tomorrow and be attracted to the opposite sex. No, absolutely not. It's a healing process. And just like with a heterosexual person who comes into this time of awakening and they have to make certain changes and shifts in their life in order to straighten out certain areas in the spiritual aspect of it and the material aspect of it and all of these different things, these layers that have been placed around them that made them inauthentic to their nature, you too would have to do the same thing in order to shift you out of this lifestyle, so that when you look at the opposite sex, you don't just see the person as being, are they sexually enticing enough for me? Are they going to be able to give me an orgasm? No, you see them as being someone that you can make a soul connection with, someone who you are able to create with, because consider sex is a creative energy. That's why people are able to procreate and to create children through sex. But not only can you use sex to create children, you can also, when you come together with your divine partner, you create your gift. You create an energy. There's an energy that is projected through that. And so, yeah, when you have sex with the same sex, you are creating something, but consider that this is what it's creating. It's something that is feeding the beast. You're not creating something that is actually going to feed humanity or to even feed your soul and your spirit in a way where it is uplifting, where you're able to evolve, where you're able to grow. It's the direct opposite of that. And so you want to really ask yourself at this time of your journey, do you want to feed a dark energy? Do you want to have an umbilical cord to the devil, a dark energy? And I'm not talking about an image. I'm talking about an energy. Do you want to have yourself connected to that? Or do you want to feed light, high vibrational energy, having that divine connection to the source? You got to clean up your temple. And first it starts with your mind. You got to start there, cleaning out those thoughts, clearing out that self-loathing, that shame, that guilt. Start writing things down and burning them. You might not remember all the partnerships that you've had, for some of you, because some of you, this led you into a very promiscuous lifestyle. So if you're writing and burning, I release myself from all sexual encounters that I've had, known and unknown. I release all spiritual attachments. I release all emotional attachments. I release all physical attachments. I release all lustful behaviors. I release all addictive patterns that is connected with the homosexual or gay lifestyle, in spirit and in flesh, and you burn it. And you start lighting your candles and shifting the energy. I am powerful. I am balanced. Okay, I am whole. I am free in spirit and in flesh. And you let those candles burn. You got to put in the works. But it's going to take you first tearing down the structure, the false version of who you have become, and then building up brick by brick. Patience, being patient with yourself, building up who you was created to be. Now, let me ask another question here. How is this lifestyle impacting you? How is it affecting you? I don't know. Did I ask that already? I think the last one was, how do you feel about it? How is it affecting you? Some of you are taking a lot of losses now because life, you know, in this time of awakening, you have many hard hits, many tower moments that come in to say, hey, you're taking the wrong path. Now you're being called to be redirected. So let me bring in the storm. Let me bring in this tornado that's going to clear everything out so that you can have a clean surface to rebuild. And so some of you are really going through it emotionally, spiritually, physically, financially. How is it affecting you? You have the Page of Wands in the reverse. You're losing your passion. You're losing your spark for a lot of things here. The Five of Cups is in the reverse. It's this energy of wanting to come out of grieving. But some of you, you've been having bad news coming into your life, okay? Negative scenarios that has you lacking passion and excitement for life, you know? How is this lifestyle affecting you? What came out is the Five of Swords. Look at this. A lot of people around you that's trying to manipulate you. A lot of people around you that wants to bring pain, that wants to win at all costs, even if it means at the expense of hurting you. You're calling in people who are bringing the drama, okay? And then right here you have Death. So you're going through a lot of transformations here. That's Scorpio energy. You are going through a lot of transformations, but it's in order for you to end this, to put an ending to this. And it's also for you to be able to heal so that you're no longer focused in on those things that you think you lost. Because what you lost, you didn't lose anything. If you lost things that are on the surface, that are material type things, or certain false friends, false lovers, you didn't lose anything when you lost them. When you lost your soul, when you lost your spiritual and your divine connection, when you lost remembrance of who you are, when you got into this lifestyle for the sake of gaining abundance and security, that's when you lost. Sitting in this energy, overly focused in on the pentacles or security, that's when you lost. Right now, you're actually gaining by losing those things that are on the surface that you see with your natural eyes, because now you're gaining back who you was created to be. And there's nothing more valuable than that. When you come into remembrance of who you are and you allow yourself to go through the death and rebirth, allow the transformations to happen, that's when things change. That's when you're able to find your balance again. And that's when you're able to awaken to your true creative nature. That's when you step into your calling and you work in unison with those of us who are awakening, who have a divine purpose here to serve humanity. So you're being called. You're being called to do it now. So let me see. How can you free yourself? How can you free yourself at this time? Many of you need to do some chakra work, okay? Working on your root chakra because lack mentality is here. Working on your sacral chakra because pleasure-seeking behaviors, insecurity, overactive sex drive, okay? Lustful behaviors, heart chakra. Y'all got to work on all of your chakras, because this has kept you so low vibrational in your energy that the only thing that you've been operating from is a overactive root and sacral chakra. That's it. All of your upper chakras, you haven't even been functioning from that, because you can't operate from a space of love with your heart chakra with this energy. You can't operate from a space of confidence when you're feeling insecure about yourself. So your solar plexus chakra is blocked. Even when it comes to your throat chakra, even that gets blocked off because you're not speaking your truth, because your truth gets suppressed behind an image. Now you got to maintain an image for these people that have so-called celebrated with you, and they celebrated all of these things that you was able to gain materially, but behind your back, this is really what they was doing, causing a lot of chaos. Maybe some of them even in your face. All types of corruption and chaos and manipulation. They celebrate with you one minute and they work against you the next. This is what you've been called to bring an end to. You got a lot of fives coming out. You got 1, 2, 3. The only 5 that's missing is the Five of Wands, and I wouldn't be surprised if that came out right behind this. So you're going through a lot of changes, but these changes are necessary. So how can you free yourself? Work on those chakras that I mentioned. balancing out yourself, get back connected with nature, get back connected with those things that seem ordinary to you. Because when you're in this energy of an overactive root and sacral chakra, the only way that you feel that you can find pleasure in life is through doing something that's going to be overly stimulating. So drugs, alcohol, sexual pleasures, maybe spending a lot of money on different things. It has to be something that is external to you in order for you to find pleasure and zeal and passion in life. So you found that you had a false perception of what fun really was. Get back to your nature. Get outside and connect with nature. Start focusing in on your health, focusing in on going to a fast. A lot of y'all need to do a fast. I'm talking about a serious fast. A fast from sex, a fast from taking in certain types of foods, doing some green juices, smoothies, lots of fruits, vegetables, water, fast. You're going to have to make some major sacrifices, but these sacrifices are going to get you in alignment. It's going to balance out your hormones because a lot of things have been thrown off here. And so you want to do what's necessary to work to heal yourself from the inside out, not from the outside in. The inside out, starting with your spiritual connection, and then moving into your mental, the way that you think, the way that you speak about yourself, the people that you communicate with, and then moving into your physical health, what you are feeding your body, who you are allowing to touch your body, to enter into your body, to enjoy your body. You have to layers, okay? What else can you do to free yourself? So Death card came out. That means completely cutting out a lot of things. Yes, look at this. I just said it. The Ace of Swords. This is all about cutting out, using this sword of truth, accepting the truth for what it is, gaining the clarity, and using this sword to cut out people, places, and things that are not in alignment with you stepping into your divinity. Then you have the Hierophant in the reverse. Some of you need to remove yourself from specific, because some of you might feel led to go back into like the church structure, because some of you might have felt abandoned when it came to the religious structure. I'm not telling you to go back to church to do anything, because if you look at some of my past videos as well, one of them was, how is the church affecting the Black community, part 1 and 2? You'll find out that a lot of homosexual and lesbian energy is there in the church. It is actually created in the church, the energy of it. So I'm not going to tell you to do that, but I feel like what you're being called to do is to get back in alignment with your spiritual connection. That is very, very important, because a large part of you has been far removed from the spiritual nature of who you are. Again, we are spirits having a human experience. And so because we are spirits having a human experience, you got to get back into nurturing the spiritual aspect of yourself, because you've been putting way too much focus in on the physical aspect of who you are, and it has not worked out well, because you abandon the fact that you are a spirit first. And so everything happens in the spiritual realm first, and it begins to unfold and manifest in the physical. So you're being called to do the work on a spiritual level, so that you can then shift the energy of what's taking place in the physical. And that includes even your attraction to other people. You start doing the work spiritually and getting that divine connection with the creator of all things, and saying, I thank you for putting me in alignment with my nature again. Welcoming in your spiritual team. Thank you for showing me how to get back in alignment with my nature again, the true essence of who I have been created to be. Not the one that was placed upon me through sexual molestation, not the one that was placed upon me through materialism or me having low self-esteem or whatever the case may be. No, not the one that was placed upon you through the illusion, but the true essence of who you was created to be. That's what you have to start working on in terms of the spiritual nature of yourself. Drop the burden, release, do not carry this anymore. It's been heavy. It's been too heavy. It's already gotten too heavy. Start operating from a space of self-love. Do the work to heal yourself. Self-love is what is necessary right now. Nurture yourself, but first release these things. Allow yourself to heal. Release the burden. And let me just take one more off the top to see what this says. Yeah, put in the work, y'all. It's y'all got work to do. It's time to start putting in the work, focusing in on building yourself back up brick by brick. But first, you got to put an end to it. The Death card is about tearing down the false structure, then moving into building yourself back up. So that's what I have for you all. I hope this message was able to bring some clarity. If you want a private reading from me, you can always email me so we can get specific in terms of your specific circumstances and what might have guided you towards this lifestyle. I love you, and I'll talk to you all next time.